Hello guys, welcome to the next video. How do I start this video? Okay, let's start with this headsculpt. This headsculpt was actually painted live in about 20 minutes. On the 40 minutes video posted prior to this one. Okay, I had the window closed, but it's daylight outside because the humidity here in Singapore is horrible. So this headsculpt actually belongs to this figure here. This is one of my earlier posted video on YouTube about 2 years. About 2 years ago. Okay, let's get the video going. Now this get the picture. Okay, this figure is actually my first attempt at building a good figure. At that time, if I remember correctly, my workbench is not actually set up yet. I don't have any paints. Or I just having bought some copy paint, I can't remember. But anyway, this one is actually unweathered. Then there's a first attempt in experimenting with applying tattoos. I built this figure from two pictures I got from Google Images, and then I think this is also among the first posting on Facebook. Then something terrible happened. This figure is actually built on a CMTOYS seamless silicone body. Fresh off the box, but obviously it's old. So over time the silicone figure actually start to disintegrate. Then I dismantle this figure, then have this very body work into this figure. And obviously some of the items I think was pirated off from other builds. But I do have these dismantled items back in somewhere in one of my junk boxes. I think this is the bag. Yeah, I think this is a bag. So, without further ado, some commercials. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Never miss a video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Press the bell and you will get notified whenever I post. So, selfie stick in the usual position. Get it into a position like you guys can see. Get it focused. Okay, so here we go. Now for this view, I'm thinking of a diorama of the war in Ukraine right now. Then we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm thinking of pairing this thing up with one. Give me a second, with one of my base figures that I built as a as another bench top carrying exercise. I think I posted this thing in Facebook under the title "The Roofer from Georgia." Focus. The foot is actually a basic raw figure. So together with what I'm building now, I perhaps see how it goes. Maybe I'll add another few figures for the diorama, which right now is still in my head. Okay, so okay, then I go with okay. So right now, what instead of the seamless body, I'm going with a easy and simple body. Okay, this body, this very same body, I've also worked this body into a figure like that. The same body. Focus, focus. The same body into a figure like that. Okay, with obviously tattoos here and there, torn t-shirt to show off the biceps, and these three guys, including Rambo himself, and another bench work carrying exercise, a ranger here, having a good time in Singapore. Just after the first Gulf War in the early 1990s. Okay, anyways, the goal is to build something like that into something like that, and then have this figure and this figure reworked into a war in Ukraine diorama. Okay, back to the perch. Stand by, guys. It's actually doing things like that. They actually get my camera knocked off when I was doing the headsculpt. During the video, actually, I intend to show this headsculpt turning around with a close-up in full sunlight, full daylight. Well, it never happens. Raw, live, unedited, guys. So recenter this thing, refocus this thing, and then we'll get it going. I think it will be a fast one, because this one is basically just what I call dry fitting exercise. See how everything goes, what is fitted, the range of motion of this figure. Yep, range of motion of these figures. This is, I think, one of those wools. This is actually from one of my a handmade kilt from one of my earlier build. This thing here, jeans from the previous build. The original singlet. This one also just junk in like that. And then what is this? It's actually solder. This is actually solder. Okay, so a fast one. First off, to start off any build, I'll do a flexibility test on this thing itself. Now, as far as ES body goes, they have a reputation of having a weak joint here. Or is this not a ES item? I think it's an ES item. So actually, when you see me do the drop test, 2.5 feet drop test, in my video, which one thing I actually never show never shown and was left out was actually for my figures, depending on the pose they are holding. Usually I have this part taped, this part. Like so. Just a simple 1-inch masking tape, and then actually I have this part tape obviously above this one. So the other kind of tape I like to use is actually electrical tape. You know, those rubbery ones. Okay, for those tape it's better is because the range of motion can be stretched. Okay, I mean, look at this thing realistically. If the figure is posed, the range of motion is only a few degrees here, a few degrees there. Okay, so for masking tape, actually I have it go around, but it's not pressed on. So depending on the pose I want. Okay, for this one, roughly the pose is like that. Yeah. So this thing will be pressed on. Now, as you may recall, those muscle tones through the t-shirt or whatever will still be carried out, even if this thing is taped. One thing I keep on harping on is actually to have any fully built figure to repose themselves while you're putting it in your glass cabinet or what is a big no-no. Okay, it's actually a big no-no. Then the second one is have the figure freestanding. So at least you know the joints, everything is mostly in the correct orientation, whatever. Okay, so a quick review of using the parts I took off. Okay, as you can see, 2 years ago, everything is not weathered, because at that time, you know, when I got back into this hobby by mistake. I was off the hobby since about 1984, 85. Then obviously life gets in. So during that time, my daughter, I think by the age of 8 or 9 then. Yeah, I think about 8 or 9 then. Started to have start to feed her with her own. Funnily, this daughter of mine, she's not into toys that are bought, but is into things that are made by hand. So at that time I was thinking, why not start her on a hobby like that instead of Barbie dolls. So actually the first few used dragon figures that I used for her, that I bought for her, she started fiddling with it and then don't like it. And then somewhere along the line, she threw everything aside, and then actually I sort of pick up from there. I think at that point in time, she was using her poster color, oil paints. I think those are acrylic paints, I think, that she used to draw on to concentrate and work, to draw on papers and drawing boards. She was using that on 1/6 military. So when I took over, actually this place is my wife's makeup area for her to apply makeup, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So after a while, this area was actually repurposed for as this workbench as you are seeing now. My actually work surface is only about 18 by 18 inches, cut off here. So with this workbench, actually I built something like maybe a few hundred figures, mostly posted on Facebook in episodes. Some of these figures are like this one, this base figure. Actually, I do it to while away my time, then get my mind off things, and it's not even posted. But to have a few hundred figures that I claim right now is actually non-existent, because some of them are actually built into diorama, like this one, that one. Some were actually taken out for parts because they are for one reason or another. So actually, okay, one way to get the muscle tone to this one is actually thin double-sided drafting tape like this one. Okay, this one because later I will be doing a number on this naked body itself, so I will left out this one to another episode. This is one way. The other way is actually to apply enamel thinner wash, DIY type, over this one, so that given the material of the skin underneath, this cloth material will be somewhat bonded onto the skin. So actually, as you can see, as you pull back on this one, already you can see some muscles coming through. Okay, so what is next? This one. The original figure is actually based on two pictures of the turmoil in the Middle East. One is actually a PMC. The other one is actually if I remember correctly, I try to find back the picture. It's actually an Australian SAS holding cash in the hands, leaning backwards with a very happy face. I think it should be this Iraqi dinars. So okay, here, because I'm going to take it apart, I don't bother with this. So the next one is obviously the boots. These are actually those those boots. Then this is actually, as the build goes along, I get more hobby pins, all this one. Then this boots is actually not as much as painted but weathered. Believe me, after maybe about 30-40 years of the hobby, everything is new. Everything needs to be relearned. Most of it is forgotten. I came back as something like a newbie, something like a newbie with lots of things to learn. How paints work, how solvents work, what is what, why is why. And then on top of that, I have to figure out Molly. When I went off hobby in 1982-83, I think the world is just getting onto those you know, those vest, you know, just off the SBO, better skeletal order, and then onto the vest. So what do I do now? This thing doesn't fit here. Is it possible? Okay, I think we leave the boots out to solve for another day, or maybe get a new pair of boots on, and then we'll do weathering. This is original CMTOYS. Even in those days, I've taken to modifying joints like that. You know? Okay, so comes this this shirt, a lumberjack shirt. Now in those days, to actually tear out a shirt like that, what is actually very traumatic. Okay. And then at this point in time, I've also totally forgotten about PVA. So this thing is not PVA treated. Okay, so for this one, I think I have the sleeve cut off. No, I still have own sleeve. Okay, it's rolled up. To roll up for CMTOYS, because it's seamless, is above the elbow. So I think we'll try to do it this way. Okay. So above the elbow should be an easy job. Okay, over time, I think I have to look for a figure stand. Where is our figure stand? Where are all my figure stands? Give me a second, guys. Okay, one of my DIY figure stand. One of those, you know, the gun rack. One telescopic antenna, and then what we are missing is the wire here. Do I find anything that I can use? Take it off, take it back immediately. Okay, this one with a DIY bent wire. So now as figure stands goes, most kits come without figure stands. Now to purchase 10, 20, 100, 200 figure stand, I might as well spend the money on new kits, new items. You get what I mean? Then as it turns out, it doesn't even matter, because from single build figure, I've now moved on to dioramas. Then as far as my diorama goes, how do I say it? The form factor, the footprint of diorama is actually roughly equal to a figure stand like that. So if you got two figures side by side, it's about that. I can squeeze maybe about 3 figures into one diorama, something like that. The formula needs to work out because space in Singapore is scarce. I do not think this body is that flexible in terms of neck and the chest one. But anyway, I'm not building this thing into the one you saw just now. He's someone from the Ukraine fighting for his country. So even the cup doesn't. Oh, it fits. So the original one has the post. Wait, post up, elbow like that, lean backwards. Obviously, I don't have the boost on, so this one needs to be lower a few inches. Okay, so roughly we have it like that. This guy looking upwards. This thing doesn't work. Give me another few seconds while I do another wire stand. So I have written wavelength of wire, soft wire. Okay, so to do the stand, roughly divide by 2, trim this area down. Okay, get it inside the crouch, maybe a bit higher, because I need to hold the post. Okay, the crouch. Okay, roughly to the height I want. A little bit more to have some play, and roughly we have a figure stand wire. Now this soft steel wire is actually has worked for me quite well. You'll be surprised that if I'm building something else like that boot. Hey, where's the other boot? Like this pin for the boot, I'll just pull off from one of this one and then cut off a piece. So a king here to friction stop this thing on the tube. So we have something like that. No, more of a king. Okay, more of a king. So we'll have something like that. Okay, so that you can help hold the figure to the height I want, to the post I have one, because this thing is quite flexible and adequate for the task. So okay, currently yes, good enough. So the just now that video on YouTube that I show you is actually had a figure like that. Then because CMTOYS this area is more flexible, it's bent backwards a bit, but basically the post is something like that, with this guy hit in the heavens. One thing I remember, during that time 2 years back, I searched all over the world for a headsculpt that actually happy, smiling, satisfied, couldn't find it. Okay, something like that. Obviously with the backpack on, with the what do you call this one on, and then cash in the hands. One side he was holding a cash. Come on. He was holding cash. The other side, hey, the glove is still here. Loot. A bag of loot. Obviously, this thing has been worked on. It's not just simple of stuffing something inside there. This part is actually engineered somewhat to hold in the hands. This part. Okay. So we have this thing sliding on like so. Come on, spread the thumb. We have a pair of flexible hands here, which I like. Okay, so that one actually has something like that. Striking it rich. you know, with obviously helmet, all these things. And then let's see, I have, okay, one of my first earlier scratch build item is this piece that is actually on the what we call this one, Molly plate carrier here. This is actually one of my earliest scratch build items. It's actually a copper sheet wrapped in a woolen camouflage. But the star of the show is actually this dollhouse another dollhouse iPad. Then this thing is actually closable. It actually sits here. This is actually one of my earliest scratch build items. But obviously there's a Leatherman here, light stick here and there, but it's largely unweathered. This carabiner is actually done by Can, original all black. Okay, this is actually a silver over black plastic, and then if I remember correctly, clear candy red over silver as it dries. So as it turns out, clear candy silver red over still wet silver Can paints turned out to be a purple. That's something I learned. Okay, something like that. This part original silver, but this part was actually all black. So what else? Broken headphones here and there, and then as I get more paints inside my this workbench, more and more stuff gets painted, weathered, like this stick. This carabiner is actually done together with this one. So roughly, I think we have ended. I still have lots of hands to play with. So roughly, we'll end this session here, and then we'll call this maybe a war in Ukraine dry fitting session. So later off camera, I'll try to sort my way out, do a number on the body, or change out the body together with another one that can maybe bend backwards if I want to go with this one. I mean, the guy could not be holding cash, but something like maybe a Gustav or maybe a rocket launcher, something like that, and it won't be tilted back so much. I mean, look at the proper images of the war in Ukraine. They have civilians, they have US, they have Russians, they have Eastern Bloc equipment, clothing, all over. For me, actually, before I started this one, I was looking at some picture on my handphone. Then it seems to me it's a great way to thin out my scrap boxes. Yeah, I think we have it something like that, but maybe I will go with a different body altogether. I think this is a ES one. Yeah, I think this is a ES body with this thing. Yeah, if I were to go for that one with the bigger bend, I will go for this one. Then for this one, you definitely need this reinforcement. the tip reinforcement. Yeah, but I think we have the parts mostly here. Okay, so I think I will end the session here. I pull you guys down to take a better look at this guy. Okay, wait. I will also play this thing in the background also. This is actually one of the this is actually the figure I was talking about. This one is actually what I call a revamp rebuild. But obviously given the painter sculpt, right now it's more looking like what you'll get out of a kit. Okay, so anyways, from this kit state dry fitting figure, we'll make this thing into a Ukrainian fighting for his family, for his country, for his friends, together maybe with another 1 or 2 figure. Okay, so from this to something like this. Okay, thank you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Never miss a video. Hit the bell button and subscribe. So another look at this guy. Okay, so for this headsculpt, it's still untouched since about 2 hours ago. We'll continue tomorrow, and then also to leave this headsculpt dry and cure overnight. Tomorrow some of the paints and sheets will be fused and blended naturally as the surface dries and cures. Okay, that's all guys. Thank you for watching. Right now I have to think of a new title for this diorama build. But definitely the war in Ukraine is on my mind. Perhaps maybe this guy thrown in. But obviously I also have to get the weather and season correct. Okay, so anyways, thank you guys. Can't talk. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow guys.